What's going on, guys? Quinn69 here. How are you guys doing today? As you can see here, today I'm going to bring you guys a guide on the Static Charge Monk. It stems all the way from China, where a dude basically cleared a 71 with mediocre gear and mediocre paragons and improved to us the viability of the ability here. Fist of Thunder Static Charge. I think it's going to be mainly applicable to group play, so experience runs and pushing greater rifts. It still will be viable in solo, but we'll see if it'll make the top. I don't think so. I think it'll be Juliana's still, due to the fact that you can blast power pylons for days. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go check out my Juliana's guide. But yeah, after doing some pretty thorough spreadsheeting and testing a bunch of different setups for group, this is specifically for group, I think we've come up with like probably the most powerful setup. There is a couple other, slight modifications you can make. There's the build is kind of messed up in the fact that it has a bunch of different breakpoints for two different generators, and you can hit different breakpoints. But I found, on average, this build here, this breakpoint, seems to be the most damage output. On 5 targets here, it's simulating at 950 billion per hour. That's insane. That's like up to and above Hotabarb level. If you guys don't, that's a Hammer of the Ancients Barbarian, which was known as the, the MLG OP DPS that everyone used. But now, I think monks have a chance at taking the top DPS spot from the Hotabarbs, specifically because of the mechanics of the ability Fists of Thunder Static Charge. Okay, so let's go over how it works. Where's my mouse at? Where's my mouse? Okay, so here you go. The way that Fists of Thunder works is, when you punch the monster, it applies a debuff, right? It applies the debuff, which means anyone in the group, so that means your supports, your other DPS, yourself, can proc this thing called Static Charge. Now you say, what is Static Charge? Static Charge is a percentage of your weapon damage. It scales with all your Spirit Generator multipliers, that's like Shenlong's, Raiment, all that good stuff, and it does a ton of damage. So as you can see here, in this current setup, each static charge proc here is going for about 3.7 billion damage each. That's 3.7 billion. I mean, okay, we're talking at level 80 gems at like 1300 Paragon. So if you're at lower Paragon, obviously it's not going to be that high. But I mean, if you're playing the game pretty hard out, you'll be seeing some juicy damage here. And you can see here, see all the arcs of lightning? That is all static charge procs. And on average, they're going for, you can see like the 5,000, like, you can see that, right? That's on average going for 3.7 billion each. For some reason, the numbers are kind of buggy, and you don't actually get to see all the damage numbers. I guess it's because there's so many of them. And then in density, it can actually do so many, procs so much that you can actually lag the game out. It's not unknown. It's just not unknown, so you want to be careful. And pretty much the way that you play the build here is, okay, so you have to apply the debuff. It lasts 6 seconds. So you walk in, you're going to want to press your Fists of Thunder here every 6 seconds. Generally you'll see, like if I just go back a little bit to this little part here, you're going to see it. When I walk in here, I'm gonna basically run in, and I'm gonna Fist of Thunder on a big area. I'm gonna go around Fist of Thunder every single monster in the area, and then the second I've got everything, okay, the majority of things, obviously, debuffed with Fist of Thunder Static Charge, I then start switching to my Broken Proc Coefficient ability. As you know, Static Charge procs off any abilities that have proc coefficients. Okay, Fist of Fury has the most broken proc coefficients in the game, and yeah, you can just see it. Fist of Fury just goes ham, and it just completely procs the crap out of Static Charge, and everything just melts, just gets disintegrated. And all your other party members can do the exact same thing. They want to be using, like, your barbarians can use the Whirlwind, which spawns the Cyclones that has high proc coefficients. They can use Wrath of the Berserker Slaughter. You can use, like, you can even set your support monks up with proc coefficient abilities. You can, the sky's the limit. This group I'm playing with right now, we're somewhat optimized, but definitely not. You could go a lot more. I mean, we're not even playing a proper combo. We're playing with like a Witch Doctor here instead of a, EP Monk, but it still works just because this build does so much damage. I mean, it's pretty insane. So pretty much you want to be debuffing the monsters with Fist of Thunder, and then punching them with Fist of Fury when they're debuffed. So obviously debuff lasts about 6 seconds, so you're going to be debuffing for about 1 second, and then you're going to be attacking with Fist of Fury for about 5 seconds, then debuffing, then attacking with Fist of Fury. You're also using Focus and Restraint, and you're using Raiment 4-piece. So you're going to be wanting to dash every 4 seconds because you're using the dashing strike run you're using is Radiance. It gives you attack speed, and you're going to want to maintain that. Basically it keeps, so you're maintaining that attack speed buff as well as the fact that you're keeping your Focus and Restraint proc the whole time, and also gives you lots of mobility. Like I don't know if you guys have played the Sanwuku Group Monk. Okay, it's really immobile. This build doesn't have that problem because you have Raiment 4-piece. You can dash all the time, so you never really get stuck. Okay, so the Rift Guardian appears, okay, the Rift Guardian appears, and now you want to be doing something funky. You want to be doing something funky. Let's go back to my little thing here. Hopefully this reads it out. So as you can see, yeah, Fist of Thunder, static charge. If you read it, every third attack deals 400% damage as lightning between all enemies in front of you. Okay, so what that means is when there's only one target, it no longer becomes viable to actually Fists of Fury, because of the fact that, you know, the Fist of Thunder just does so much damage, single target. Obviously, if it was 2 targets, okay, then you go back to your standard rotation. But if there's just literally 1 target, you just want to just pretty much hold down Fist of Thunder, and you want to be dashing every 4 seconds, just to proc your focus and proc your restraint. And yeah. If you want to get really, really classy, you can actually get a small, very small single target damage gain. When you're wholly COE procs, it's pretty much impossible to track though, unless you're using like a COE. There's a COE timer you can use now. It's like a web-based one, which is all legit. You can actually, when your holy proc is up, you can actually punch with Fists of Fury during the holy proc, and then go back to holding down Fists of Thunder. But pretty much, for the majority of you guys, just hold down Fists of Thunder, and you'll do lots of damage. You'll do lots of damage. We're also running with Serenity. You can swap that out for Epiphany if you would like. That's totally viable. I prefer to Serenity because you're gonna generally you have absolutely no cooldown reduction with this build, right? So you have like horrible uptime on Epiphany, and you're gonna want to be. You notice I've already used since you guys have been watching. I've used Serenity 2 times already. Okay, it's really, really nice for when you initiate a pack and whenever, you know, things are getting hectic, like there's a bunch of frozen out and they're about to explode. Okay, what you can do instead of just getting one shot and killed, you can just press Serenity, and it's just a situational thing. Sometimes you'll go for ages without ever pressing it because you're never in danger. But it's like that oh shit button. See, I'm just about to die, and I press Serenity. It's just like another health potion, basically. And I think that beats out Epiphany because of the fact that you're not using a lot of cooldown reduction. But yet, it's up to you guys. So, we'll go over the rotation one last time. Debuff the monsters with Fist of... Debuff them. So, walk in, debuff them. Then, once they're debuffed, attack with Fist of Fury for about 5 seconds. Then go back to debuffing again. And you just keep alternating between those two. Meanwhile, you want to be dashing every 4 seconds, and obviously you want to keep Breath of Heaven up 100% of the time. You have the way that you'll set up the build. I'll go over the itemization in a bit, and you're going to have the perfect CDR to actually maintain the buff, bang on 100%, and then the rest just goes straight into damage output. Then we are then using a Mantra of Retribution, Transgression. This is purely there for the 10% attack speed. You never actually want to activate it. It's just wasting your spirit. It does nothing. You're just using it for the 10% attack speed boost. But other than that, guys, that is the gameplay portion of the guide. Let's go over the gear, and we'll go over the skills. So enjoy, boys. Let's do this. Okay, so what you're gonna want to use Way of the 100 Fists of Fury. This has the really crazy proc coefficient that allows you to proc static charge, like I was demonstrating before with lots of clickety clicks. Do it, boys. I did try some other generators in the spreadsheets, and nothing really came close, or nothing was really as consistent as this. So I would highly suggest just using this, boys. We're then using Mantra of Retribution, Transgression, purely for the 10% attack speed. Okay, you need this attack speed. It allows you to hit the breakpoint that you need to do a ton more damage. Obviously, if you are playing with a Samwuko monk, they're going to already have that on their bar, and then you can actually swap this out for Mystic Ally, Earth Ally. Don't go Fire Ally, boys. Okay, you already have Depth Diggers, Simplicity, Strength, a ton of group buffs. The amount of additive damage you get is less. It's like less than 2%. It's like the tiniest damage increase. It's not worth it. The 20% life, because you do not have cheat death with the setup, is really, really helpful, and I like it. I've been seeing it a lot recently. People have been doing it in pug groups. I've seen it on streams. It's kind of worrying. Okay, people, what they're doing is they're using like Mantra of Salvation Agility and Mantra of Salvation Divine Protection. Okay, do you know what this does? If I go into the group and I put Divine Protection on, right? Okay, you're playing with a healing monk, right? He has Intercept. It basically means you have a Mantra of Salvation that has double the base effect, right? It's working twice as effectively, right? Okay. If you go on with a Runed Mantra with this, okay, this then debuffs the group. This will overwrite the mantra, the doubled mantra from Intercept, and you will lose the aura resist gain, and you're just killing your group. Don't do it, boys. Don't do it. Either Transgression or Mystic Ally. Or you could, if you really wanted to, you could use like Epiphany. It's really a free slot. If you have, you know, just don't pick another mantra, please. Please, dear God. Please. Please, boys. Do it for me. Don't do it. Okay, then using Fist of Thunder Static Charge. Obviously, this is what the whole build's based around, so really, really powerful. There you see it. There it is. Fist of Thunder applies Static Charge to enemy. Hit 6 seconds, blah, 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 blah. 40-yard radius, fucking 180% damage. Doesn't sound like much, but that's hitting for 3.7 billion damage, boys. Overpowered. Okay, we're using Breath of Heaven infused with light. This is purely for the extra spirit region, because you're using Shenlong's fists, obviously. If you guys don't know, it drains your spirit like crazy. This is what allows you to maintain your spirit. And the way I'm going to tell you how to itemize, you're going to have just enough cooldown reduction. So when you press this, you'll see it's coming back right up the second it comes off cooldown, and you just have perfect uptime. It's perfectly optimized, and then the rest of your damage just goes into pure damage. You're not wasting any CDR. Okay, when they're using Dashing Strike, Radiance, this is required. Don't switch this out for like Blinding Speed or something. This actually gets you to the breakpoint that you need to blast. Okay, this attack speed is required, guys. So yeah, boom, Dashing Strike, Radiance. Please don't switch it out, boys. Keep it. If you switch that out, you're gonna just cripple your damage. Cripple it. Okay, we're using Serenity Ascension. As I said, you can either use Serenity, so it's a situational thing, or you can swap that out to Epiphany. But this cooldown, this build has like no CDR, so I prefer, you know, the utility of Serenity. We're then using Exalted Soul. Increases your maximum spirit by 50. That scales your Shenlongs, because your Shenlongs make your spirit generators deal more damage based off your maximum spirit. Really OP. When they're using Seize the Initiative, this also goes towards the breakpoint. So you need this. It gives you attack speed. And then using Alacrity, which is a 15% attack speed multiplier. Really, really overpowered. You can't switch it out for anything. I mean, obviously, I would love to have like near-death experience in this build or something, but literally you cannot fit it. We're then using Beacon of Yita, reduce all cooldowns by 20%. This is required, as you need to have 100% uptime on Breath of Heaven. We then also have a Hellfire Amulet. The Hellfire Amulet is giving us Harmony, which is also a mandatory talent. If you do not have a Hellfire Amulet, if you don't have one, switch out the worst talent out of these ones is Exalted Soul. So switch that out to Harmony if you do not have a Hellfire Amulet. But to be honest, the build is pretty much requires one. You're going to lose a lot of damage by not having one. The amount of damage you get from this is insane. So, let's go over the cube now, boys. The cube. Where's my cube? Come to me. Okay, we're then using Flying Dragon. This allows you to, obviously, all the breakpoints are based around Flying Dragon. So it's required for the breakpoints. On top of that, it gives you the attack speed you require to maintain your spirit. So it's mandatory, boys. It's mandatory. It's a really fun proc as well. You know, it means you can snapshot your Stricken. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my Stricken guide that I just posted. to insane amounts. So really, really powerful weapon all around. We're then using Eye of Peshkov. Reduces the cooldown of Breath of Heaven by 50%. So this is what allows you to drop all the CDR and still have the uptime required to maintain your spirit. This is a secret to squeezing crazy damage out of the build. This is what the whole setup revolves around. Really powerful. I wouldn't switch it out for anything. We're then using Convention of Elements. Increases your damage output. You know, it cycles through 5 elements, and randomly you're going to have a 4-second period where you're doing 200% more damage with lightning. And remember, the build is using 2 different, you know, using Holy as well as lightning, so you get like a little bit more coverage with it, which is kind of cool. But really, you're just using it for the lightning buff. You're going to see big crits, like on bosses, you know, 200B plus, as I was saying. It's really quite fun. Okay, now let's go over the legendary gems. Okay, we are using Simplicity Strength. This obviously this is an additive damage bonus. It's just skill damage. It's just like a depth diggers effectively. So you can see my Fist of Thunder damage is increased by 171%. Really, really powerful. It also gives you, you know, life on hit. Because you have so much attack speed, it actually is really quite significant. Because this build here, you're running with a lot of health. Like, I got 1.1 million life. You should have a lot of life, because we're going to go over the item soon. And, yeah, that actually equates to a decent amount of life on hit. We're then using Bane of the Trapped, just a 40% damage multiplier. It's pretty much in every build in the game. Really, really overpowered gem. The secondary effect procs the primary effect. So, yeah, GG. We're then using Bane of the Stricken. It means you kill bosses like crazy fast. What you can do, if you're running with a Dart Witch Doctor, or if you're doing runs where you skip the boss, what you can do is you can actually remove Bane of the Stricken. So obviously this is the gem that allows you to kill the Rift Guardian like 10 times faster. And you can actually put this in, because if you're skipping the boss, it doesn't matter. Or if you're playing with a Dart Witch Doctor, they can just solo the boss, and you can actually means you can clear the rift faster like this. I was testing out that setup, and it was really, really quite powerful. Obviously, once you put a Pain Hunter in, all your breakpoints go out the window. And what that means is you're going to hit the 5 APS cap regardless during density, and you can actually switch this to blinding speed. So please note that. But the most consistent and the build that I recommend for majority of people here is Bane of the Stricken. Okay, let's go over the gear now. So we're using Shenlong's 2 set. So it's the 2 fist weapons. Obviously, this is build revolves around this. It increases your damage by 100%, like all sources by 100%, and on top of that, all the damage of your spirit generator is increased by 1.5% for each point of spirit you have. So that's obviously why we're stacking maximum spirit. That's why we're using Exalted Soul. That's why you're looking for a maximum spirit. So on the weapons, you want to have plus 15 maximum spirit on each of your weapons, because that's obviously increasing the multiplier. Because every spirit point you have, you get 1.5% damage to your Fist of Thunder, Static Charge, and that's where the crazy damage output's coming from. The rolls you want on these, 10% damage and VIT. Remember, this is a group setup. For solo, you would like life on hit, but we're not talking about this. This setup does not work for solo. So you want 10% damage and VIT, and both your weapons. Obviously, this one is not ideal. It's got attack speed, but I have VIT on it, so I'm happy with that. And then, obviously, you're looking for 15% maximum spirit on this one as well. Okay, then we're using Raiment Boots. So you see I've got the Raiment 4-piece set bonus activated. We're using Raiment Boots. This is pretty much the best rolls you can get. Dex, Vit, Armor, 12% movement speed. You're then using Raiment Chest. So yep, these are my favorite rolls as well. Dex, Vit, Life Percent. You can go elite damage reduction, but life percent is generally going to keep you alive more consistently with this setup. Means you can get hit by, you know, sledgefish whites and stuff, and you can survive a hit. It's quite nice. We're then using Raiment Shoulders. Okay, you want Dex, Vit, or Resist, and 8% cooldown reduction. The reason, if you do not have 8% cooldown reduction on your shoulders, your Breath of Heaven is going to be off, and then you're not going to have enough spirit to maintain your juice. So you want the 8% CDR on your shoulders. Then using Raiment Gloves, you want Dex, Vit, crit damage, crit hit chance. You do not want CDR on your gloves, as if you put CDR on your gloves, it's just going to give you overlap of Breath of Heaven. It doesn't increase your damage output. And the vitality is what keeps you alive. We then obviously have depth stickers on. You're primarily looking for one with a good multiplier. So you got, I mean, you know, it's just additive damage, but it's quite nice. Increases the damage output of your generators by up to 100%. Really, really nice. That obviously increases static charge. We're then using a string of ears. These are the dream rolls right here. I've got a pretty good string of ears, to be honest. You want Dex, Vit, Life percent, and then Fist of Thunder damage. You know, it is just additive damage, but to be honest, it's between Fist of Thunder and an armor roll, and you know that's actually a somewhat okay roll. It's 15%, you know, static charge damage, and it's like effectively increasing your depth stickers from 100 to 115, which is not bad. We're also using Spirit Guards. You're gonna want lightning damage on those bad boys, so 6 crit, Dex, Vit, and 20% lightning damage, and you're looking for a good damage reduction multiplier, so this is a really good pair as well. It's got 40% damage reduction. You really want that 40%, because that's what's going to keep you alive on the high grade risks. You're then going to want a Hellfire Amulet. These are the dream rolls here, so crit, and then lightning damage. But I wouldn't say no if you had a Hellfire Amulet which had ancient Dex, so if it had 1000 Dex, and then 10 crit, 100 crit damage, that would be also fine as well. We're then using Eye of the Storm. This is a helmet that people generally salvage. I had luckily saved one that was kind of okay, but then I ended up gambling this one here, which is GG. Okay, you're going to be looking for maximum spirit on that. So you can see here, it rolls it to 15 maximum spirit, and you're going to want it to be lightning damage, Dex, 6 crit. With a socket, obviously, because you want to give that extra experience bonus to the group. You're not using CDR, because all CDR would do is give you more overlap on this, whereas we've configured our setup with the 8 CDR on the shoulders and Beacon of Yita, and you have exactly the right amount of CDR. So this is the best setup for farming experience. If you're pushing, so if you're gonna do runs right, and you're not doing experience runs, so you're doing like some GR 80s or something, you're doing some really high grade rifts, okay, then you can go to life percent in your helmet, because you don't need that. You're all about not being dead, and that helps you stay alive. When they're using Focus and Restraint, the Dream Focus and Restraint is actually, so you'll see here, this is actually a damage increase, even though I've got a really bad roll. This is the Dream rolls here, so crit damage, crit chance, and damage range. I was using the extra toughness because I like the extra toughness, but I'm just giving you this as an example. If you have an ancient pair that looks like this, it's fine, or a dexterity one will do fine. And also hang on to ones that are attack speed and crit, because there are other builds out there. I will post in the below. There's a series of breakpoints you can hit, and attack speed rings can also be viable depending on the comp you want to run. But generically and the majority of builds, this is going to be the best ring here. You know, damage range crit, or dex crit, and you want your focus and your strength to both look like that. Paragons. Okay, so Paragons, primarily you want max spirit, okay, because that's increasing the value of your Shenlong proc, so you're getting more juice out of your Shenlongs. That multiplies your spirit generator, static charge damage. You then want to finish off your movement speed, so I've got 12 on my boots, so then you want to cap that out to, because you can only get 25% from gear / Paragons, so you cap it out. Then you just go all into dexterity from beyond. As far as priorities here go, you're going to need the cooldown reduction first, because the cooldown reduction is your Breath of Heaven. You need the 10 CDR from that. If you don't have the 10 CDR, then you're not going to have the Breath of Heaven uptime, and you're going to be screwed. You're then going to want attack speed, because this is the breakpoint you need to hit. So CDR into attack speed, and then generally it's going to be crit chance into crit damage. As far as defense goes, you want to go Aura Resist, Armor, life percent, and then life regen, because you're not really regenerating life. You're either alive at full health or you're dead, because this is the group build. Now this is where it's a little bit funky. Okay, if you're really ballsy and you're not playing at peak times, okay, you can go area damage. But area damage is currently bugged with the setup, and it doesn't really give you, it doesn't multiply with the. I haven't confirmed this myself, but I was told by my friend who I trust. Area damage does not multiply with the raiment set or the Shenlongs. So you basically, okay, you're getting a tiny bit of damage from area damage, but it's not much. And what area damage actually does is when you get crazy density, if you try and use Fist and Fury, when you've got area damage, it just crashes the game. It just lags out. The server can't handle calculating it, and you just crash the game. So I'd leave area damage out, but if you're really ballsy, I guess you can do it. But otherwise, you just want RCR and then life on it, and go fine. As I said, if you're crazy, area damage. But otherwise, that's it, boys. That's the gear, that's the skills, that's the guide. I will have a written one down below, and I will keep that up to date. So if there's any like meta changes to the group setup, I'll update the guide, and there'll also be additional information in the written guide. So if you want to check that out, you can. But otherwise, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and peace the hell out. I hope you guys like the new haircut, boys. The new the new haircut. Pretty sweet, eh?